So Xibalba and La Muerta are kind of the man and wife version of his version of the death gods that were invented by the Aztecs and the Mayans. And the word Xibalba is the word for the underworld. He's been relegated because of, you know, bad behavior to lording over the land of the forgotten. Whereas La Muerta, his wife, who he adores, but you know has a whole lot of trouble making good with because he's just too mischievous for his own good. Lords over the land of the remembered, and he would love nothing more than to resume his place by her side, but he hasn't quite figured out what the magic formula is. And he's always wagering that mankind essentially is useless and um, unsalvageable, whereas she has this kind of romantic vision of the heart of man is essentially good. And so she's always wagering that he will find his way and end up doing the right thing. So they were born betters for one another. It turns out that betting for her is something of an aphrodisiac. She really sort of, it titillates her and it engages her, and it's her weak spot. And so that's what he sort of reaches for whenever he realizes that she's slipping from his grasp. And he's constantly trying to retain her in his grasp. Because aside from, you know, being relegated to this horrific place, land of the forgotten, he really wants to be with her. He really loves her. Xibalba, you know, kind of seals his own fate and stacks the deck so that he can't win is because he'll do anything to win. So he steps on his own feet by cheating, by sort of, you know, putting a finger on the scale, whereas she basically allows for humankind to take over and, you know, man's better angels, and ultimately he's hoisted by his own petard, and you know, her ultimate love and devotion and faith in mankind is borne out. So he only loses because he tried so hard to win, because he thought he could do anything to win. But what fascinated me when I first started learning about this mystical holiday called the Day of the Dead was the joy of it, the relationship with passing on to whatever it is you pass on to, you know, but changing realms is celebrated in an incredibly joyful, happy manner. And it's almost as if you're making an arrangement with death where it demystifies it for you. It takes away the fear of it for you. It almost becomes something that you're always at peace with, because it's inevitable, number one, and number two, it's going to culminate through the culture in this celebration. So it's a phenomenal thing to share with the American culture because it's very exotic for the way we think about life and death, but it's also incredibly joyous, and it's also one of the beautiful things, you know, the generosity of culture sharing can do, especially aiming it for a young audience. I'm thrilled to be involved in the production for an assortment of reasons, Guillermo having to do with it, Jorge. Now that I've met Jorge, he's just this unbelievable, wonderful talent that I'm thrilled to be around. So enthusiastic, so brilliant. His artwork is astounding.